Welcome to the Foundry, where leaders are forged daily. And now your host, George Roberts.
Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Today, we're joined by Crystal Liu, founder of 𝐂𝐫𝐲 Capital. Crystal is a developer, syndicator, and winner of .com's Impact Company of the Year Award. Welcome to the show, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Crystal, I know that you're famous for many things, including being a famous networker. You have these amazing events that you put on in Atlanta for entrepreneurs. Again, developer, syndicator, I could go on, but I'll let you tell your own story. Tell our audience, who is Crystal Liu?
Hi, my name is Crystal Liu, born and raised here in Atlanta. Been here for a majority of my life. Got into real estate about a couple of years ago. I also started a woodworking company as well, was very driven and dedicated to the real estate environment and industry. And so I kind of just hopped in both feet and partnered with the developer. And now I'm raising capital for our projects that we're working on. And we develop the projects from start to finish, from land acquisition to development, construction piece to cutting the ribbon at the end. And then partnered with other business partners as well, going to build a veterans facility as well to give back to the communities and to help veterans, trauma and PTSD and stuff like that, to be able to, give them a place to get back to normal. And then working on other ventures as well with other business partners that I have also.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you have your fingers in so many different pots, obviously a serial entrepreneur. I just love people who have that drive and desire and who are animated to create new ventures throughout their lives. But however, mainly our audience is real estate focused. So I'd like to start with developments. In this day and age where you see prices are just going through the roof, and people say, hey, it's hard to make my multifamily deal pencil. Development is one of the things that I believe still makes a lot of sense to me. So tell us a little bit more about your development projects and what you've been doing.
Yeah, so from the development side, it's really amazing because with our investment partners and with my development team as well, from the construction and development side, we're able to cut costs from the construction and the development phase with our investors as well. So, normally you get priced, let's say at a construction multifamily, it could be from 124 to 145 per unit in the multifamily space to build. And so for us, we cut costs on the construction piece and the development side by like 20% because we get our materials at cost. And so that's why our pro formas and everything might look like a unicorn per se, but because we have built our relationships with our vendors, with our contractors, with our GCs, we're able to cut costs, like I said, at 20% less than what it would normally cost because we get it at cost rather than it being marked up when it's going through a GC. And then the development side, we have a development team as well. So we're able to, cut costs and time from the development side. So normally new development takes 18 to 24 months, depending on how large the project is. So for us, it can be 16, 18 months with the development side. And so we're able to bring the cost back into the project, and we're able to give our investors their money faster and quicker because we are able to cut construction costs, so it doesn't cost as much. And then we're able to cut the development side. So we're able to give our investors their money back quicker and faster. And some of our projects, even from the profitability standpoint, they go from 15 to 50% on ROI, depending on which project you choose to invest in. And so I have multiple projects that I'm working on where my investors will see 45% ROI. Some will see 22% ROI. It just depends on which project, but they get it quicker because we develop our projects faster, quicker, smoother. The transition, we have the scheduling in place. We have everything in place, our marketing package, our performers. And so we're able to give our clients their money quicker, and or they reinvest it back into the next project because they see how much money they can make off of it and then how quickly. So they just push it to another project.
Yeah, outstanding. And I know two of the things that you're famous for would be cost management and time management. And I really think that you hit all the notes there. When I talk to people who are successful in development, I've asked people, hey, do you believe that there are certain points in the value chain that are more important to hit? And really the consensus answer is that you really have to create value at every level. And it sounds like that's what you're doing. You talk about your vendors. Obviously, you've got some great relationships with them to keep things on track today. If ever there was a time that I think construction projects were going over in terms of time, it's now. You just can't hire the right people. So congratulations for getting a tight rein on a very difficult process.
Oh, thank you.
One of the things that maybe I'd like a little more detail about is you mentioned about your supplies. So you're able to get your supplies at the right price, but I mean, how do you even budget for that in your pro forma in such a turbulently inflationary environment?
Oh yeah. So inflation is high, yes, and demand is high as well. But we schedule it in advance, so we already know what projects we have. We already know what materials we have. So when we put the construction budget and plan together, we're already pre-planning for what materials we need way in advance. So we're able to get those materials in advance. And because we built such amazing relationships with our vendors, our GCs, our construction team, development team, we're able to execute things faster because of those relationships that we built. Real estate is really based off of relationships. And so that's why we've made amazing relationships and have been for years with our vendors that we use.
Great. And I would say that that probably dovetails with another one of things that you're famous for. You're known for your ability to network. And also, I hear that you throw some amazing events in Atlanta for entrepreneurs. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so the networking piece, I love meeting people. I love building relationships. I love networking. And so, I would meet 10 to 15 people a day. I still do it. I've been doing it for a couple of years. But just building relationships, networking, seeing how I can help other people, right? That's how I go about it. I don't go about what can you do for me? I go about what can I do for you? What service can I provide for you, and or network you with other people to be able to get you to where you need to be. And so, I network people with other people that they might need, and or add somebody into the conversation piece. Like a builder per se. Like I met with a builder yesterday and a developer yesterday, and they were needing, a land acquisition person. And so I'm connecting them with other people in my circle that I know that might benefit, them as well. And then, I go to multiple events. Like I just came back from the MFI Con event that was in Charlotte. And that one was really good. I just love networking with people. There's a whole bunch of different events that happen here in Atlanta. And so I go to a whole bunch of them. I don't host them myself, but I network other people with other people to make, their dreams a reality as well. But when I'm going to these events, I'm mostly like, what could I do for you? Who can I connect you with to help better, you?
Great. And maybe we'll go back into development for a moment before we get to know you on a deeper level. But I know your mission at 𝐂𝐫𝐲 Capital is to build structures with enduring value and the potential to become timeless. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, so I got into real estate because I love real estate. I love design. I love walking properties and seeing, it goes from concept in a drawing to actually building it, and you can walk it. You can pick out the color schemes. You can pick out, what's going in the building. And I've always loved to make a difference in other people's lives, right? With the new development that we do, and or just building in general, you're bringing jobs into the community. And so a lot of the developments that we're doing right now, we're bringing jobs into the communities. We're building different phases in other communities that are here in Atlanta, and we do projects outside of Atlanta as well. We have one in Tennessee, we have one in Arkansas, we have 6 other states that we're working in right now with projects that we're working in. We're about to do another one in Ghana. That's a whole different realm. But with that piece that I said, I like making a difference in other people's lives. I like making an impact. And so, that was another reason why I got into real estate. Was I was like, okay, I can bring jobs into the community. I can help people, bring income into their pocket. I could make a difference in a community and, make it sustainable, and make a difference and make an impact as well.
Great. And I think this would be a great time to merge into the entrepreneurship phase of the interview. I want you to tell us what really motivates you as an entrepreneur. So you've done many things. You haven't just done real estate, you've done things in finance. You mentioned woodworking too. So
Yep.
What really drives you as an entrepreneur? Why this as opposed to just going into the corporate world and being a leader there?
So I've been in corporate. I was a chief of staff for like 12 years or so, give or take. I've been a CFO and a CMO for different companies. I also own a custom woodworking company here in Atlanta. But my driven purpose was to retire my mom. That was first and foremost, because she did so much for me as a child. She sacrificed a lot for me and my sister. My mom and dad split when we were young, and she sacrificed a lot. She volunteered her time for us to be in gymnastics because she couldn't afford it, because she was a school teacher. And so I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to get in a house and you're about to move in, you have all your boxes packed, and then something happens, and this happened multiple times, and something happened and you couldn't move into the house that you always wanted. You couldn't have your own room. I didn't have my own room for years. Me and my sister shared a room, till we got out of my mom's house, which was probably in our 20s. And so, I know what it's like to be bound in that sense. I know what it's like to want something so bad and you can't do anything about it. And so I got in real estate because I love it. For one, I love making communities a better place. I love bringing jobs to communities as well and making an impact to make a difference. I know that's one way that I can do it. 2, my main objective and goal was to retire my mom in 2 years, to build her dream house that she's always wanted, and to be on the water like she's always wanted. So that is my hard goal is, to retire her in 2 years. That's why I work so hard and long hours. I work from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. Or it could be longer than that.
Crystal, I just love the way that you describe your developments, and it's the way I see development too. I mean, it really is not just a way to make money. It's not just creating jobs for your people. It's something that's going to impact the community for generations to come. Do you have a story of a favorite development that you'd like to tell us about?
I love all of them, because you impact different communities. So we have projects kind of all over, from Cumming to Florida, right on the panhandle, to we have another one in another city. We're going to develop its own little community, or actually kind of big community, kind of like the Avalon here in Atlanta, or in Cumming, Alpharetta area. We're going to build another city somewhere else. So every one is kind of unique and different. And I like them all because you make an impact in every community doing something different. You bring jobs in every single community that you're in. And so I love them all because they're all different. I have some mixed use space. I have townhomes that are going on the beach. So those are multifamily. So every one is unique. Every one is different, because with every one that you do, you meet different people and you make a different impact in their lives. And so, I like them all. There's not one that I don't like, and you learn everything, more things along the way as you go. And I love learning and developing my mind and stuff like that, and stimulating it.
Great. I love that. And I totally see that. Obviously, wide ranging interests. I mean, even within development, you've done various types of development. You do multifamily, I know you do mixed use. And I believe that you mentioned Ghana earlier, but I don't think that's the
Yeah.
first time you've developed outside of the US. Am I right?
Yeah, so I partnered with a couple of different business partners, and we're gonna build something in Ghana. Can't talk about it just yet, but
Okay, fair enough.
we're bringing something amazing to the community, and it's gonna be kind of like out of this world type deal. And so, once we do, then I'll be able to, talk about it more.
All right, great. Well, maybe we'll have to have you back then because
Yeah.
I know that you've got a lot going on. It'll
Yeah.
definitely be enough for a second show. Well,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
so one of the things that is impacting multifamily investors these days is rising interest rates. And certainly I would say on the development front, that's an even bigger issue. How is that impacting your plans and execution?
Well, with the development phase, we raise the private funds. So we do it from the equity part in the syndication process. And so with the interest rates rising, it is horrible, yes, but we put all of that in our performas and strategic planning so that when we go out and pitch to investors, or try to bring other people along in the syndication process or capital raising process, that we already kind of know, okay, what's going to happen. There's inflation, there's interest rates, and then there's the materials and everything that might go up, that might go down. So we put all that in our pro forma to make sure that we know where the pitfalls can be, where they are not, and so that we're cognitive of the things that are going to occur.
So it sounds that the impact is really just more a matter of baking into the pro forma. It hasn't impacted the type of development that you're going after or the way you're doing it.
No, no. And I mean, me and my team, we go over different projects prior before. Mostly my development side will do that, and I will do the syndication fundraising part of it. And then together collaboratively, we will take the project down from the construction and the development side. But yeah, they will look over it prior before to see if it's even a good fit for us to get into. Normally projects that are sent to us are a good deal, just because we have an amazing team in place that can vet it prior before we even see it. And so the ones that I see are the ones that are rock solid, pretty much.
Yeah, very important in today's environment.
Right.
Now, as an entrepreneur, who is your greatest influence? Is it somebody close to you or somebody famous?
No, I would say is my future self, because your own worst enemy can be your own self, your own mind, right? And so you are the only one that tells yourself if you're good enough or not. You have other people around you that might tell you that you're not good enough or smart enough or fast enough or pretty enough, whatever the case may be, right? You're your own worst enemy. And so you are the first person that tells yourself if you're good enough to do it or not, or if you're tired enough, or whatever the case may be in that factor. But I always look at my future self like, okay, if I look back 5 years from now, am I going to be proud of what I'm doing today? If not, I'm not going to do it. So I'm always pushing for my future self, that when I look back, I can be like, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what I did, or I'm proud of the impact that I made in the world, because I don't want to go with like, when I die, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, she had 15 buildings and 13 cars. Like, no, I don't care about the materialistic stuff. I care about how I made an impact in somebody's life. If I go like at my funeral, I want people to say that, she made a positive impact in my life. She changed the way I thought. She gave me an opportunity that I never had. She always brighten my day, whatever the case may be in that aspect.
Clearly for you, the self-actualization is the number one motivator. I think that's got to be one of the best things about entrepreneurship, the self-actualization, the opportunity to build character. Well, how about leadership? I'd like to go into the next phase of the interview. You've been a leader in various circumstances. You've been a leader in a corporate environment. You've
Right.
also been a leader as an entrepreneur. Over the years, what would you say is the greatest lesson that you've learned in leadership?
In leadership, I would say there's probably a lot of different things. I would probably say to never let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You will have people around you that will tell you that you're not enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not good for that promotion, whatever the case may be. Don't listen to them, because they're wrong. They have their own insecurities and they push that on you. And so from a leadership perspective, from an entrepreneur perspective, I always try to push people to their limit. And what I mean by that is, if you think you can't do it, I'm gonna make sure damn well that you can. And I'm gonna give you what you need to be able to succeed. If you're trying to grow your business, or if you're trying to build a development team or a business in general, okay, we need to come up with a business plan, financials, projections. We need to look at what kind of capital we're trying to raise, from a debt side, from an equity side, what partners, marketing strategy. With anybody that I've worked with, I always try to elevate them to the next level and tell them that they can do it, and build their business. In the corporate world that I was in as like a chief of staff, my main objective is to help grow your business. I'm there from a strategic standpoint. So I'm looking 5-10 years from now and how we can make that happen. I'm pre-planning in advance how we're going to strategically make that happen and what we need to set up in or do now to make sure that projection wise we can get there. And like a CFO as well, a CFO, CMO, you're going over financials and okay, what do we need to do now from 3-5 years from now to get to, let's say we're at 2 million. Okay, we're trying to get to 10, a big goal, but I always say go big or go home. So how are we going to get there? Who do we need to hire in? What do we need to get other people to do the responsibilities? Execute and strategy, and being relentless in that pursuit as well.
Outstanding. And so I think that with that, I want to make sure that our interview isn't just all about real estate. I believe that you also offer some other investments outside of real estate. Is that something you'd like to discuss today?
Yeah, so outside of real estate, I partnered with my other business partner, and we offer our clients also outside of real estate tier 1 banking programs. And now what that does for our investors is that makes them grow their money. So let's say, our funds are 5 to 7 years. We prefer 7, because you could grow your money faster. Let's say you put like 5 million into the escrow account and it grows at 3 to 5% each year, or each month, actually 3 to 5% each month. So if you put in 5 million, you'll make $150,000 each month. Now you can either pull it out or you can put it back into the fund. These are banking programs that people use from bank to bank, normally do it. Normally this is done overseas, but I partnered with another company that does this. And so this is another investment opportunity for my investors to make profit off their money. People do it for their kids or grandchildren, or for themselves if they're wanting another pocket to hold their money in escrow, but to be able to grow it while they are investing in other things, because they're able to pull that money out at 3 to 5% each month to be able to use or throw it back in their fund.
And those are amazing returns, but in your example, you're using $5 million. So this is not something that Ma and Pa can do. These are some major investors already.
Right. Yeah. These are the highest in the fund is like 60 million. So, you could have a couple of people that put in 10 million a piece. It could be, less than that. But these are people that are like accredited investors, people that have millions to be able to put into the pot. Could be 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. But obviously, the more that you put in, the more profits you make out of it. And so also because it is a banked tier 1 program, it's backed by the banks. And so your money doesn't, when the stock market fluctuates or when the markets fluctuate in general, your money is safe. And so it doesn't, it's not going to depreciate. They can't take your money out once, if anything were to happen to the economy, your money would be safe and keep making money.
Yeah, that is exciting. I always like to expose people to other types of alternative investments,
Right.
because I believe that I'm not just a real estate guy. I'm not just a syndicator, but I'm somebody who is in alternative investments, and I'm looking for opportunities all the time.
Right.
So with that, I think it's time that we head into our lightning round. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So tell us one thing about one of your real estate markets that most people wouldn't know.
I mean, the development is booming right now. If you see, land is being cleared, so development is hot. The market is fluctuating, yes, but development is going insane right now. And homes are, depending on what area you're in, homes are actually going for rent now more than buy, because you can make more profit off of a rent than you can do in selling.
Great. So as we record this in the first week of July, so I gather you're not putting on the brakes, you're not slowing down. The economy may be headed for trouble, but you see blue skies ahead for development.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have really good partners to where we're going to keep chugging along. We're going to keep going. We have amazing investors, and we of course would love more investors as well, but we have a good pool of capital that would funnel all of our projects. And so we're going to keep chugging along. We're going to keep making, bringing jobs into the community. If the economy tanks, our projects will keep going. As you knew, like through COVID, all construction was still going. We were essential. Yeah. So from the woodworking company that I own, we were on site every single day. There wasn't a, hey, you gotta stop. It was like, no, we had to keep going.
Right. Now in Georgia, if you were in Michigan,
right,
it might have been different.
Yeah. In Georgia. And so, we weren't stopping. Construction does not stop. Now, some projects might be on hold, because they do different things in regards to they see different fluctuations in the economy and in their projects. And so the bigger companies and the bigger builders and developers, they have a lot more projects that they're working on than we are. And so, we have veterans on our team, we have women owned, minority owned, we have a little bit of everyone because we want to share the wealth. And so we're going to keep chugging along.
Great. What is your advice to your younger self?
Yeah, all the money that I made, I should have not spent it. I should have invested it in real estate or different investment opportunities back then. That would have probably made me a millionaire, multi-millionaire by now. But I spent my money on clothes and shoes and going out and food. I didn't spend it wisely. And I would tell my younger self that I'm proud of you.
Great. Yeah. What is the best real estate advice that you've ever received, or what is the best real estate advice you have for our audience today?
From the real estate perspective, I would probably say make sure that your financials are in order. From the construction and development side, but I would say from the real estate aspect, to have a really good team in place. That would be my advice. If you don't have a good team, then you can't do it all by yourself. I've tried to do everything by myself, but it doesn't work, and I've learned the hard way in that. So my advice in the real estate market is to have a really good team in place to be able to implement strategies and procedures for what you're trying to do in your real estate company.
Great. And let's follow that up with the worst advice you've ever received in real estate, or tell us a misstep that you see people making in real estate that you'd like to help them avoid.
Yeah, don't put your emotion into it. A lot of people in real estate see a house, and I almost made this mistake. You see a house or you see a property and you really like it, but if the numbers don't work, don't do it. If you get attached to a house and you're like, oh my gosh, I love it, the pool, the whatever, and then you put 45, 50K over asking. Now the market's hot right now, right? And this year people are going way over what the AVR is for the house. And so they're actually in a downfall because they put way too much money in a house that it's not even worth that. So don't put emotion into real estate. It is all about numbers. And that goes back to having a good team that knows how to put numbers together, that knows how to put performance together, and to make sure that the numbers work. Now, if the numbers don't work from, you're doing multifamily, new development, mixed use, whatever the case may be, value add projects, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know interest rates, you don't know what's going on in the economy, you can put yourself in a hole. So, I would say definitely don't put your emotion in a real estate, even though a lot of people do. I would say take it out of it and stick to the numbers. And if the numbers don't look right, don't do it. Even flips, they see a house and they're like, oh, this house will be good to flip, but they don't see how much it'll cost, or they don't do their due diligence in the due diligence period to be able to make sure that the numbers will actually work, so you'll get a profit off of the project.
Now is the time in the show where we give a nod to the randomness in the universe. And I've got a deck of question cards here. I'm going to cut the deck and you can just tell me when to stop. And the top question, when you have me stop, it could be anything like, if you were a fairy godmother, what would you be a fairy godmother of? Or it could be something really deep.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Totally random. Have you ever had an experience that led you to believe in angels or ghosts?
Yes. On the angels part, because I'll see random numbers. Now they're like repetitive numbers, like your spiritual guardian angels, if you will. I see a lot of repetitive numbers, and it's like going through the phase of my life. So if you see 11:11 on the clock, if you Google it, you're like, oh well, that's really happening to me now. So then you're like, okay, this sounds too real. So then it keeps happening, so then you'll see more repetitive numbers, 333, 555. And then if you Google it and you okay, why am I seeing these numbers? Or why is this happening? Or I'll be driving and I'm feeling a certain way. I'm getting anxious, I'm getting nervous, whatever. I'll see a number and then I'll Google it. Or I'll see 7-11, 11:11. And then I'll start Googling it. Well, then once I start Googling it, then it's now if I'm feeling that way, then I'll see it on a license plate, and then I'll Google it. And then, it's yeah, I know you're going through a lot right now, but your guardian angels are watching over you, and to stay strong and to be positive, and that good things are occurring, because when you're going through things, it's like a roller coaster. And so it's like a roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of good and or bad things that are happening, in your life, and or pitfalls that you're having. And so when I see these numbers, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Then it kind of gives me I can really do this.
Great. I love that positivity about you. That's a constant. Name a book that has helped to forge you as a leader and as an entrepreneur, and why?
I would probably say I have a couple. So Tim Grover's Relentless book, I really love. He was Michael Jordan trainer in a sense in the mental toughness pursuit. He teaches them to be mentally tough. I would say Jocko Willow's leadership books as well. He's got 2 of them, and those are really good. Those are like discipline, mental toughness, leadership, how he leads. He spoke at the MFI conference a couple weekends ago in Charlotte, and he was amazing. He was a Navy SEAL. I think he might still be. I'm not quite sure, but he has some crazy mental toughness that I've ever seen. His books are really good. And then I always read capital raising books to get other people's perspective and to get different techniques that other people use, because I like being creative in the financial space in regards to the syndication or raising capital on the debt or the equity side to be able to make deals happen.
How has a failure or misstep set you up for a later success?
So I've had a lot of failures. I've had a lot of people tell me that I can't do it, or, you know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not tough enough, I'm not whatever. I've, you know, had to let go of clients, and from a financial standpoint, that was detrimental. In the corporate world, I quit because I was told that I wasn't good enough and that I was a woman and I needed to stay in my effing place. Getting rid of that client from a financial standpoint, it was detrimental at the time. But I knew that my mental well-being and my mental capacity was not going to tolerate that. And so from a financial standpoint, it sucked. And I cried for like probably a week. It hurt, but I would rather be struggling in cash than rather someone tell me that I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not enough to do what I want to do in whatever realm it is, you know. Like I'm there to help my clients, you know, but some of them see it as a threat. Some of them see it as, you know, I'm doing better than them, whatever the case may be, or I'm a woman and I can't do it. You know, I've been told a lot that I can't do what I'm doing right now. So also for people listening out there, do not listen to anyone that tells you that you can't do it. Only listen to yourself and believe that you can do it. Because if you have that belief that you can, then you can. You will put in the grit, determination, drive, hours, whatever the case may be, to make your dreams a reality. And so that's my 2 cents I will give on that.
Do you have a favorite quote to send us out?
No, I don't have a favorite quote.
All right, then I just want to thank you for taking the time to educate our audience, to share with us all of your amazing insights and your knowledge gained through so many years. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Crystal.
Thank you. I appreciate it.